One. So this is, we are in the middle of the month, so let me do a quick wrap up video about the books that well, I've been reading and what did I finish and so on. In terms before that, let me just show you. Sorry, was getting here a book. Let me just show you what I got. Usually I don't. Nowadays I don't show as much what books I receive, but these ones deserve this. I received this today, so I'm going to show you. Okay, these are two novels that I saw someone talk about them and they seem interesting. The first is The Murder at the World's Ends by Ross Montgomery, and then a thriller horror book called by Ian Rob Wright, The Housemates. This sure a splatterpunk, that one a mystery. But the ones I want to show you are these two. They are SST publication novels. The first one is The Babysitter Lives. We have here a beautiful edition, artwork by France Vaillancourt. Let's show you. And this is very beautiful. Even this, it's like imitating leather, so very beautiful. Really enjoy this new artwork. It's signed, all of them. Well, the ones I'm going to show you are number 102, which match the other book I have from him. I do have there a couple of them. The others are outside of this, and this book is was released not now, but a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken, 2022. But this is like edition, because there is a special edition made by Broken Binding through Black Crow's stuff. Also signed, no artwork, just a simple artwork, a simple signature, not simple, but a signature from the writer. But that's it. And this one is full, it's illustrated, it has 6 illustrations, all of them are colored. SST has been given as some very interesting. This one is very disturbing. If you don't like spiders, close your eyes. Now you can open again. And yeah, so six paintings on this edition. Very beautiful edition. All of the SST publications are pretty good. This one surpasses what we have until now because of this letter stuff. We're talking about a 40-pound book with how do you say it, with sewn binding and artwork, color artwork, and you've got Broken Binding doing the same stuff for 30 euros, 30 pounds. So, and this one in terms of quality is way better. Then the second book, it's The Buffalo Hunter, as you can see here, and this one was released just last year, and this one is even more amazing in terms of the artwork, the way this is, the quality of here, the buffalo here, and this is letter, so beautiful. This is also signed, numbered, and everything done, again signed by both Vaillancourt and how do you say, and the author. This artwork as well, it's colored. I mean, don't get me wrong, but Leviathan Publications does that with slipcase, so it has slipcase, so beware that. But and we have to pay for everything, for the slipcase and the book, around 110, or I mean pounds, 110 or 125, bit more. SST does that for 99. For example, there is a new coming now with for 89. So yeah, quality, it's amazing. I really enjoy this. This is probably, I keep buying them, and the reason, okay, the author itself, I mean, if I don't enjoy, I know that I will get my money back, at least that's a given, which is also amazing. So what did I read? So I did finish a couple of books. Claymore was the first one, the 11, the not the 11, the, yeah, the 11th book of Claymore, not book, the 11th novel, not book. Sorry, my dog is here. Um, and then we've got finished here Marcus Aurelius Meditations, which is this is the English edition, hardcover edition. I really enjoyed. I put some marks here, and basically, if you want to read about Stoic mentality, how to achieve, this is a good place. I don't know if this is mandatory to read everything, because not everything is. Well, it's important, to be honest. To me, it was not, but I'm not a philosopher. I'm not over sensitive non-fiction person, so I may not be the person that this should be well explained, but I enjoyed nevertheless. I did get some notes, and so I enjoyed the book. In terms of the novel themselves, okay, we've got The Claws of Chaos. This is the first book in the series by Slaves of Darkness by Gav Thorpe. This is set in the 17th century, so it was very interesting to read this book. It's not something. It's not new. I mean new because this is 20, almost 30, 20 years, 25 years. This is published in 2002. So this is not new in terms of the story itself. It's a story about a knight that it's going up north to fight chaos. His beloved stays in the Imperium, but there are strange stuff happening in the Imperium, and she is targeted by the people of that town, and she's mixed up with a witch hunter that is trying her about witch hunter, and this is something that unfortunately it happened a lot. Neighbors shit on the other neighbors, saying, okay, this guy is this woman is a witcher, and they invented something, and people believe that. Unfortunately, it happened. People that didn't like another, they will say, oh, this is your fault, this is because she is a witch, and so on. And same happens here. And so the guy comes from the north to the south again to find his beloved, to try to save her. Unfortunately, things don't go as well as hoped, and he is being guided by a Norse guy, and he becomes a bit delusion. We are talking about, this is the year in the 18th centuries. So we know, if you know and understand Warhammer Fantasy, usually the stories are set in the year in the 26th century. So and back in that time, usually most of people believe in Sigmar. There are some people believing in Tal or other Elric and other gods, but mostly is Sigmar. Here it's a bit, since they have been fighting the between the locations and the not locations but the areas within the empire. There is no emperor, and so they've been fighting, and basically not all people believe in Sigmar, and this knight is one of them, and but she is a fervent believer, and things happen. So this brings to the second novel and the third novel. We have got here some kind of arc of redemption and revenge, and it's very cool. I really enjoyed this. It's not the best book in Warhammer Fantasy, but it's pretty good. I want to read the second and the third novel. Then bringing Hanging House by Dean Ramsden. This is an interesting novel that I read in 2 or 3 days, I don't remember. It's a fast-paced horror or thriller novel, and it's part of a series that deals with this woman who can see ghosts and speak with them and so on. And she's back to her house where stuff happens, and she was forced to leave basically to get away with stuff. Unfortunately, as she comes back to her house, those things that made her leave are happening again. She meets up with two people who, and with their help, they try to figure it out some mystery that happened over 10 or 20 years ago. It's very cool. There is a curveball in the end. I did not see it coming. I thought the culprit was someone, and then it was another. Very cool. I really love this book. So good that I'm going to purchase the second novel in the next month. Not a rush, because I'm not going to read in the next month, but just to get the second book. And if I enjoy, because sometimes you have a book from an author and you don't enjoy, and that's something I'm trying to do, is get another one. Since it's self-published, there is no risk of being out of stock. So that's it. I did read The Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft, finally. I believe I already had read it like 30 years ago in Portuguese. This is the first time in English. I didn't remember much. I do remember a lot of Lovecraft. This is one of the most favorite horror stuff is Lovecraft and stuff. And I really love this. Although I don't enjoy this edition. This edition was, well, this edition is beautiful. Okay, it's has artwork by Gary Geniani, which is a famous artist. Unfortunately, they changed the story. So basically, there are some stuff, the problematic stuff as they call it, and so they change it. I can understand part of it, but I won't accept it. And the reason of that is that the Lovecraft was a person of that period. He hated foreigners. He hated, well, he thought that other people from other creeds or even really backgrounds, they were inferior, and that's one of the reasons he created Cthulhu. I'm not an expert on Cthulhu. I'm not an expert on Lovecraft, but I know what I've read about the author. So the author created this, and I may be not correcting saying these things, but this was like a space, like a space goat. Can you call it? I don't know, a scapegoat, to talk about the issues that trouble him, and so. Here, the people that adore Cthulhu, for example, there was one chapter they say that they are mestizos or black men, sailors. They were sailors, but he never specifically says that there are no white there. There, because there are white people there as well, but also people from other races or whatever you want to call it, or another and creeds. And so the way they remove that part, it makes us understand, makes feel that Lovecraft didn't hated the black people, and that's of course racism, but he hated sailors, because they removed the part of they were not the issue is that they were not sailors. They were, because the writer says the black man, the sailors are a mix of black men, mestizos from X and X area, and they removed that part, and so it became sailors. Then there is also the same thing happens, and so we can kind of get the feeling that H.P. Lovecraft hated sailors. That's it. I'm not kidding. That's how I thought. I have another version of the book, which was the one I read. Because I started reading it, something is off here, and that's when I start comparing, and yeah, there are like 5 or 6 situations where they remove some parts of the information from the information about the race of the characters. Either way, is it good? Well, this is written in 1920. Okay, I could scare you. in one way that I cannot scare you today. Okay, today we're living in a life in a way which is way developed, and so what I mean by this is that um, what scared us back then is not equivalent to today. Okay, people didn't have the information. People lived in their lives in that in that place they lived. They didn't know about the other town, about the other city, about the other uh, country, and so everything was there. So when something happens very differently, very weird, it was frightening. That's why the invasion, I don't know the name, but that radio broadcast about the aliens invasion and so on, that part was able because of that period of time. And today, reading Cthulhu, it feels old. It's not frightening at all in terms of, because you already know so much. You already seen disaster. You've seen wars. We've seen everything in the television. So seeing this, which supposedly it is putting information in your mind, it's quite different from seeing people being killed in the television. So you know what I mean. So unfortunately, this book, it's almost 100 years since it was written. It suffered because of that. Yet it's one of the most important horror books ever written. That's it. I'm going. So read it. It's like Tolkien. Read it, or Dune. Read it because they are the cornerstones of that genre of fiction. If you don't enjoy it, okay, that's it. Don't worry, because I know that most people don't like Tolkien. They are afraid of telling that they like Tolkien because Tolkien is the well, one of the most beloved series everywhere. But I kind of understand that people don't like Tolkien because Tolkien is over descriptive. The way it's written is overly dense compared with other people like I don't know, George Martin or Brandon Sanderson and so on. So I can understand that it's a fruit of its time, but it's important. And the reason that those writers are what they are now, it's because of, it may be because of them. That's it. Um, and finally, I did finish another novel. This one yesterday, which was Jerry Robinson Point Nemo. I read this in 2 days, and it's a good, very good novel, a solid novel. Everything I read from Jerry Robinson, I enjoyed. That's why I have all of his books up there, and I enjoy the novel. This novel is about a place that the fall of a space station to Point Nemo, which is one of the most isolated. It's the most isolated places on Earth. No connection to any island for 3,000 miles or something like that, or kilometers or something like that. Even the fishes and so on, there aren't anything there because the currents, they are called the South Pacific gyre, I believe. So the current, due to the currents, there is nothing really there. It's just an empty place, and and um, and that's a place where the space station crashed, as other space stations have crashed before. Mir, for example, it happened to there, and so this tale led us because that space station crashed, and so they are trying to save an astronaut that was there, and they are helped. The CIA it's helped with a couple of other people from NASA, and the father of that astronaut. Both were they focused on fungus, so they 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 are they have a lot of information about the fungi, and the story itself is very fast paced. There are some dumb situations, I may call it, but in terms of the story, it's very fast paced. It's very alien place to be. You can see here. You can see there are a couple of drawings here. This place, this island, it's almost alive with an alien, well, stuff. and it's developing very fast. Probably in a couple of days what we needed billions of years, and there are some artwork, and so they are trying to to save her and then to do something. And what's something? Either they protect the isle, or they think it's a threat and they have to destroy it. So it's kind of a philosophical situation between the characters and so on. The story itself is very fast paced. There are interesting characters. One thing I might notice, and I didn't enjoy it as much, is the battering between the CIA and the mercenary guys, and because they look like other persons I've read from him. And then another thing I didn't enjoy is the first person perspective, because we follow the first person perspective of the guy that is trying to save her, so the father of the astronaut, and then it changes, and the first person becomes another person outside of the aisle, and then the daughter as well as the first person perspective, and I don't enjoy that. It's convoluted. It felt needed, and it confused my mind because I'm reading 300 pages about one guy, and then it changes to a first person perspective, another person, and I don't enjoy that changes. But overall, it's a very good book. I give it a 4.5 because of this, and another thing is the credibility that I have, that okay, space station falls, and they have the time to save. Well, it's kind of weird, not because it's an international space station, so everyone should know that's there. Because I mean, anyone following the space station will know where it falls, and why the CIA went there without NASA. Well, the NASA, there was the person from NASA, but kind of weird kind of situation. So I it felt a bit incredible, that situation. Overall, pretty good. I really enjoyed this novel, and I'm eagerly waiting to reading something for Jeremy Robson. And this one is a solo, so yeah, read it because it's a solo novel. I'm currently reading Three Dahlias. I'm think I'm trying to decide if I enjoy the novel or not. I also reading Ronald Malfi novel. Still, I stopped for a while, and yeah, that's it. I'm reading an anthology which I'm almost finished, and that's it. In the end of the month, let's see what I read. I'm going on vacation, so probably I have more time to read. I do have still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 novels to read here on my TBR. I don't know if I'm going to change since I'm going holidays and I want to take something different. I don't know. I'm not feeling the vibes with The Empire of Fear by Brian Stableford. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to change the novels. I don't know. But so far it's good. I mean, I read these books in 15 days. What more can I say? So thank you, and if you have any information, any thoughts on this, please do tell me.